Didn't they ban the only lesbian subs that were focused on being anti-trans? I'm sure there are plenty of other general subs for lesbians. Actually, there's not, because they're all banned. It is about that time. Lesbians are now the most oppressed people in the LGBT community. People don't even think that we are a real orientation anymore. Plus, we have the least amount of people. Ariel, what are you talking about? Lesbians are not oppressed at all. Oppressed? From LGBT activists saying that the term lesbian is old-fashioned and problematic, to those same people saying that lesbians should like dicks, since some trans women date women and some trans women have dicks. I mean, we rarely see lesbian bars anymore. I think at one point, maybe 20 years ago, there were about 200 in the United States, and now we're down to about 15. There have been a number of lesbian nights over the past 5 years that have since then changed their names to queer events to become more inclusive, therefore intentionally or unintentionally becoming actually exclusive. Can I just say that it's very interesting that this kind of stuff only happens in lesbian spaces and not in gay men's spaces? I'm just saying. Especially in New York City, most lesbian parties are now called queer parties. And I know I might be a little bit biased here because I personally hate the word queer. And a big reason for that is because most of the people that identify with that term are just people who are not same-sex attracted, who do not have gender dysphoria, who are simply just dyeing their hair a different color, painting their nails. Literally, that's it. If I'm on a dating app and somebody says that they're queer, I literally have no idea what that means anymore. But you know, everyone is all about it because it's woke and it encompasses a wide range of identities, and it doesn't risk excluding groups that the acronym may leave out. And the acronym at this point is like LGBTQIAPP+2.
Here's some more internet for you.
To me, the word queer seems way more about politics than sexual orientation or gender identity, or, you know. Honestly, think about it. Have you ever met a queer conservative, a queer or non-binary Republican? Like, I know exactly of one non-binary Republican. One. This article that I'm about to read really upset me, and a bunch of young women were asked how they feel about the word lesbian, and this is what they had to say. Thoughts on the L word. I decided to ask a few different people what they thought about the word lesbian. A young woman who identified as gay. By the way, I used to identify as gay because I was also ashamed of the word lesbian. This is like 10 years ago, and now I use the word lesbian like it's my second name, which I guess it kind of is in this case. She said that she didn't like the word lesbian because it felt too full on and intense. It is unfortunate that the word lesbian is kind of synonymous with lesbian porn, which is why a lot of homosexual women will call themselves gay and not lesbian. That's definitely one of the reasons I used to. I also chatted with a young trans man about it who identified as straight, and he said that the word lesbian reminded him of an older butch woman. His female friend agreed. I found these answers interesting. I find these answers to be homophobic and misogynistic, but to each their own, I guess.
Here's some more internet for you.
And now, Reddit has banned lesbians. Like, actually banned discussing what lesbians think of lesbians and what lesbian means to them. Like, you can't do it on Reddit anymore. First of all, if you go to reddit.com/lesbians, it's literally just lesbian porn. I do want to give a quick shout out to supposedly the straight men that created this lesbians page, because they actually do seem to give a shit about real lesbians. They actually give a little shout out on the right side of their page for lesbians like myself who want a forum to discuss topics, and instead, of course, got porn. See, straight dudes aren't that bad. It's really just the queer people that are annoying the hell out of me these days.
I've been thinking, what if my preferred pronoun, instead of he, she, they, it's just bitch.
So let's go to that page, which is reddit.com/actuallesbians. A place for discussions for and by cis and trans lesbians, bisexual girls, chicks who like chicks, bi-curious folks, dykes, butches, femmes, blah, 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 blah. Can we not have anything to ourselves? I can't help but notice though, whenever I go to other, like most lesbian pages on any forum and any social networking site, they are either not for actual lesbians, like because they're usually like porn, or they will have a shit ton of other sexual orientations and gender identities listed as people that are also welcome. But on Reddit specifically, which is fucking infuriating, if I notice that if anybody was to mention that lesbianism is for female homosexuals, you get banned. The group gets banned. I found an article on this that proves these claims and has them documented. We got the receipts, bitch! This says, there are now no lesbian forums allowed on Reddit that are exclusively for lesbians. You must include males claiming to be lesbians and let them talk about their penis endlessly in your lesbian forum, or you will be banned. You cannot be right-wing and LGBT, you'll be banned. You cannot wish to organize purely as LGB, or you will be banned. And you cannot be gender critical, or you will be banned. If you go on reddit.com/LGBT and proclaim that lesbian sex only involves people who possess vaginas, you will be banned. If you claim that gay sex is only for people with penises, you guessed it, you'll be banned, bitch. One of the subreddits that was also banned was True Lesbians. Let's Let's read some comments from members of that group, shall we? It says, literally just a sub for lesbians to talk about being lesbians because Reddit hates homosexuals. Like, fuck. We're really at this point. Somebody said, didn't they ban the only lesbian subs that were focused on being anti-trans? I'm sure there are plenty of other general subs for lesbians. Actually, there's not because they're all banned. Nobody was anti-trans. Lesbians just don't like dick. Full agree. That doesn't mean that anyone is saying trans people can't exist. You can't buy me into liking dick. That's homophobic. I'm not sure what buying me means. You would think in 2021 homophobia would be wrong, but instead it's the whole woke thing. Also full agree. I agree. Lesbians don't like dick, and it's not anti-trans to want to talk about issues that we face individually in our community, in our tiny community, like literally things that only affect us. We're not allowed to talk about. Let's read something else. Somebody said, this is pissing me off. I was a member of that subreddit. We only discussed dating, relationships, and similar lesbian issues. Literally the only lesbian place on Reddit. And somebody said, I swear to God, I'm in shock. There was nothing transphobic or racist or whatever in that subreddit. It was a place for women who love women who don't want to deal with the girl dick mafia. Can we call them that from now on, the girl dick mafia? Anyone who's watching this video right now who isn't in shock, I can understand, because I feel like the only people that see this every day are lesbians. And I think the majority that watch me now are actually something other than lesbians. It's different than it was years ago. We'll just say that. Another person in shock here. Why is it hateful or transphobic for lesbians to want their own space? It's not. And people wonder why women are no longer claiming the word lesbian. I mean, it's pretty clear why. Because we're not welcome in our own spaces anymore. We can't even have our own spaces. It is seen as a hateful term. It's not taken seriously. And it is sexualized in a way that no other sexual orientation is. In my opinion, a ton of what would have been lesbians years ago are now identifying as queer and non-binary. And I really, truly, deeply believe in my heart that this is one of the reasons why. This is a major reason why. A lot of it, from what I have seen, is people just not conforming to gender roles or gender expectations, which homosexual people have been doing for years already. So why are we like throwing a new label on it? The only reason for that would be to be more welcome in the world. But you know, new labels can make somebody appear more oppressed, more special, I guess. People love that shit these days. I also think that it has a lot more to do with there being more of a community online for trans-identifying people and non-binary people and queer people than lesbians, because literally, like I just said this whole video, lesbian-only forums, lesbian-only dating apps, everything now has to be super inclusive. We can't have even one dating app to ourselves, or one subreddit to ourselves, or one lesbian group to ourselves. I can't even make videos about being a lesbian anymore without being told I'm being transphobic or non-inclusive. So my question for you guys is, do you think the future truly is going to be non-binary or gender-free? Will we eventually lose the word lesbian altogether? Personally, I think we already are. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys back here in a few days and over on ariel.locals.com with tons of never before seen content. I post content there every single day. If you want to be part of the controversial conversations over there, go and support me, and I will see you guys there and back here in a week with a brand new video. Until then, I love you. Love yourselves, and please, hashtag save the lesbians. Bye. For real though. I'm saying this in 2021.